What if I told you that for most traders, the biggest enemy isn't the volatile market? It's the trade button itself. We are conditioned to believe that action equals progress. More trades, more effort, more screen time should lead to more profit. But what if the opposite is true? What if the path to profitability is paved with inaction, patience, and the discipline to do nothing at all? This is the insidious trap of overtrading, the point where the brain becomes addicted to the thrill of placing the bet more than the goal of winning it. The point where the constant motion of the market becomes a drug, and the click of the mouse is how you get your fix. This is the story of the most dangerous behavioral addiction in the financial world. And today, we will explore it through the journey of a man named Ryan, a trader who was so busy working that he didn't realize he was slowly destroying his own account. And his path to rediscovering that in trading, less is almost always more. The cool-headed programmer. Our story begins in a sun-drenched apartment overlooking the vibrant cityscape of Miami, USA, a city defined by its energy and fast-paced lifestyle. This was the office of Ryan, a freelance programmer in his early 30s with a methodical and disciplined mind. He was successful in his career because he could build clean, efficient code, and he brought this same logical principle to his trading in the Forex market. For the first 2 years, Ryan was the picture of a successful trader. He was a swing trader, operating primarily on the H4 and daily charts. His strategy was simple, well-tested, and most importantly, boring. He might spend hours analyzing the market, but he would only place 3 or 4 trades per week. The result was a trading account that grew slowly but steadily, like a ship sailing calmly across a vast ocean. He had consistent profits and, crucially, plenty of time to work on his freelance projects and enjoy the Miami beach life. But deep down, he felt bored. He saw other traders on social media, the energetic scalpers, posting stories of how they made 20 to 30 trades a day, banking small, quick profits. It looked exciting. It looked like real action. Meanwhile, his process of waiting for days for a single setup to form felt slow and outdated. A taste of the poison. Driven by this mix of boredom and curiosity, Ryan decided one day to just try trading on a smaller time frame. He opened the M15 chart of the USDJPY pair. A new world, buzzing with constant movement, appeared before him. He saw a small pattern form and decided to enter. Within minutes, the trade was up 15 pips. He felt a jolt of instant gratification that he never got from his swing trades, which could take days to play out. It was fast. It was immediate. He took another trade, another small win. In that single afternoon, he placed 10 trades, winning 6 and losing 4, ending with a negligible net profit. But the feeling he got was far greater than the money he made. He felt productive. He felt excited. His brain was rewarded with a massive dose of dopamine from this new, rapid, and unpredictable feedback loop. He didn't know it, but he had just taken his first taste of a powerful poison, the addiction to action. In-depth documentary, The Brain of the Action. Junkie Trader. Ryan's gravitational pull towards high-frequency trading is not merely a matter of greed, it's a matter of neurology. The human brain is hardwired to seek stimulation and, most powerfully, unpredictable rewards. 1. The dopamine loop and the slot machine effect. The human brain releases the most dopamine not when we receive a reward, but when we anticipate an uncertain reward. Trading on very small time frames, scalping, functions like the world's most perfect slot machine. Rapid action, you can pull the lever, place a trade very frequently. Rapid feedback, you know the outcome, win or lose within minutes. Intermittent reinforcement, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. This fast and unpredictable cycle is the perfect recipe for creating a powerful behavioral addiction. Ryan's brain began to associate the very act of clicking the button with the feeling of excitement and the release of dopamine. He started to crave the action itself more than the profit that was supposed to be the actual goal. 2. The brain's aversion to boredom. By its nature, the human brain abhors a lack of stimulation. It constantly seeks novelty and engagement. For a trader, the boredom that comes from patiently waiting days for a high-quality setup can be mentally excruciating. Descending to the lower timeframes is a seductive solution. It creates an illusion of productivity. A trader who overtrades often feels like they are working hard because they are spending hours in front of the screen and placing dozens of trades. But in reality, they may just be busy generating losing results. They are mistaking motion for progress. 3. Cognitive overload and decision fatigue. The human brain has a finite capacity for high-quality decisions each day. Trading on smaller timeframes requires a constant stream of rapid-fire decisions under high pressure, which depletes a trader's mental stamina very quickly. As decision fatigue sets in, the later decisions of the day become lower in quality, more impulsive, and more likely to break rules. Ryan didn't realize that by making 30 trades in a day, the quality of his 25th trade was infinitesimally lower than the single, well-rested, and deeply considered decision he used to make as a swing trader. The abandonment of self. Soon a new routine took shape for Ryan. He completely abandoned the swing trading strategy that had built his account. "It's too slow," he told himself. "This is the age of speed." He became a screen slave in the truest sense. He would sit glued to the M5 chart throughout the entire London and New York sessions, a period that could last over 12 hours a day. His life outside of trading began to crumble. He turned down invitations from friends, ate fast food at his desk, and suffered from a lack of sleep due to the constant stress and hypervigilance. But the most frightening part was what was happening to his trading results. The equity curve that had once sloped gently and steadily upwards was now flat and beginning a slow, agonizing descent. He was trapped in a soul-crushing cycle. He might make a 20-pip profit, then lose 15, win another 10, then lose 30. At the end of a 30-trade day, he would often find himself with a net loss, yet he would feel like he had worked hard and tried his best. He failed to realize that every single trade came with a cost, the spread and commissions, which were acting like termites, silently eating away at the foundation of his account. The denial. "I just need to refine my scalping strategy a bit more," he would tell himself as a form of comfort. "I'm just not used to the speed yet." He still believed that more action was the path to more success. He failed to see that the root of the problem was not his strategy, but his behavior. The suspense of this part of the story is in watching a smart, disciplined man slowly lose control and descend into a vortex of behavioral addiction, all while being completely convinced that he is doing the right thing. The audience can see the train wreck coming in slow motion, even if the character cannot. The broker's mirror. The climax of Ryan's story didn't come in the form of a single dramatic margin call. It came in the form of a simple email. At the end of the month, Ryan received his monthly account statement from his broker. Normally, he would never look at it in detail, only at the final net P&L figure on his platform. But this time, frustrated with his stagnant results, he decided to download and open the PDF file. He scrolled through the hundreds and hundreds of trades he had made. And then his eyes were drawn to two particular columns: gross profit, loss. This number showed the result of his trades before any costs were deducted. Commissions and swaps. This number showed the total costs he had paid to his broker, and then the horrifying truth was laid bare. The sum of his gross profit loss for the month was slightly positive, but the sum of his commissions and swaps was massive. And when subtracted, his net profit loss was a significant loss. He sat motionless, reading the numbers over and over. It was the most brutal aha moment of his life. He wasn't trading against the market. He wasn't even trading to build his own wealth. For the entire month, he had sat at his desk for 12 hours a day, stressed and exhausted, only to make his broker rich. All his action, all his stress, all his excitement, it was just the act of churning his own account into oblivion. He was a hamster on a wheel, running furiously, exhausted, but going absolutely nowhere. The acceptance. That broker's statement was the mirror that reflected a truth he could no longer deny. He wasn't trading. He was just getting high on action. He accepted his defeat, not to the market, but to his own addiction to action. He closed his trading platform and didn't open it again for a full month. He used that time to reconnect with the real world. He went to the beach, met with friends, and focused on his freelance work. He let his brain detox from the constant stimulation of the market. In-depth documentary, The Cure for Overtrading, The Power of Less is More. Overcoming overtrading requires a fundamental mindset shift and the creation of systems to counteract our natural instinct for action. 1. Redefining the job of a trader. The true job of a professional trader is not to trade, it is to wait. They are like a sniper or a patient hunter who can wait for days or even weeks for that one perfect shot. For a successful trader, 99% of their time is analysis, preparation, and waiting. The act of clicking the button is merely the final 1% of the entire process. 2. Creating friction. The addiction to overtrading is so easy to fall into because trading is too easy. We can place a trade in a fraction of a second. The solution is to intentionally create friction, steps that make the act of trading slightly more difficult. Delete the mobile app. Force yourself to only trade from a dedicated computer at home. Use a physical checklist. Create a physical checklist that you must tick off with a pen before every single trade. This added physical step slows down the brain and prevents impulsive decisions. Set hard limits. Institute non-negotiable rules like a maximum of 2 trades per day, or if my account is down X% for the day, the computer is turned off immediately. 3. Shifting to higher time frames. Trading on the H4 or daily charts has immense psychological benefits. Less noise. The charts are cleaner and the trends are clearer. Less stress. You do not need to be glued to the screen all day. More time for quality decisions. You can take hours to analyze and plan for a single trade, allowing your logical System 2 brain to do its work properly. Finding wealth in boredom. When Ryan finally returned to the market, he returned as a new man. Or rather, he returned as the old man he used to be. He deleted the lower time frame charts from his platform. He returned to the quiet, boring world of the H4 and daily charts. He went back to his original swing trading strategy. The final scene of our story. Ryan performs his morning analysis for 20 minutes. He sees a potential setup forming on the daily chart of USDJPY, but notes that it still needs confirmation. The Ryan who was a screen slave would have sat there and watched it for the next 8 hours. But the new Ryan simply set an alert at the key price level and then closed his laptop. He changed his clothes and went to enjoy the Miami beach. Hours later, as he was sitting at a cafe reading a book, his phone chimed. Alert! USDJPY has reached your price level. He went back to his apartment, opened his laptop, saw that the signal was confirmed according to his plan, and calmly executed the trade. It was his only trade of the week. He had rediscovered the truth that profitability comes not from the quantity of actions, but from the quality of decisions. And the highest quality decisions are almost always made in the quiet of patience, not in the chaos of action. And that was Ryan's journey. A story that teaches us that in the world of trading, being busy does not mean you are being productive. The addiction to action is one of the most dangerous traps because it feels like hard work while it slowly destroys your account. I want to invite you to share your story in the comments below. Have you ever had a moment where you realized you were overtrading? What is your biggest trigger? Boredom, anger, excitement? And what is the one rule or piece of friction you have created to help you stay more disciplined? Your experience could help another trader finally step off the hamster wheel. Finally, if Ryan's story was helpful to you today, or if it made you think, your like is the greatest encouragement for us to continue creating this kind of in-depth content. And so that you don't miss out on the next in-depth documentary and trading psychology analysis, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. For today, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.